Greetings, nourishers. Hey, this your boy One Tay Johnny. I am on here on a solo episode. I would like to thank the lovely Empress for allowing me to come on here and have this solo episode. We're gonna wrap up season 2. This is the season finale of season 2. So we're gonna do a quick little wrap up on season 2. Then we're gonna get into a topic that is relatable, I feel. I know that people are going through this because as I am currently going through this right now. So we'll get into the topic. I wanna leave a little on your toes a little bit, you know what I'm saying? So we're gonna get into that, but first we're gonna start off with the breath work. We're gonna stay in line with the episode tradition. So as my co-host would say, and also we want to thank our co-host for even creating this platform to allow us to come together, people with like minds, with like goals, to come together where we could share thoughts and share perspectives and just be there for each other and support each other and let each other know that, you know, you're not alone as you go on this journey, this self-mastery journey, your spiritual journey. So we want to thank her for starting this platform, man. Also thank y'all for tuning in, the support for season 2. We truly appreciate the support. I know I'm gonna speak for her now because I know she appreciates the support. And yeah, man, just ask that y'all stick with the journey and continue the journey. Continue being you, staying true to you. Continue to learn. Continue to be accountable. You know what I'm saying? This journey it's a never-ending journey. There's really no destination to the end of this life journey. You're just gonna forever evolve and keep ascending into higher versions of yourself at different levels, another ascension. So continue to be you. Continue to be you, and we appreciate y'all. So yeah, we're gonna start with the breath work. Everybody grab like my co-host say, grab your tea, grab your water. You know, it's Sunday night. So, I'm recording Sunday night. So, I'm on a little wine right now. So, grab your little wine if you're in your car. I appreciate you listening. If you're on the way to work, whenever you're listening, man, I really appreciate you for tuning in. So, if you're driving, don't, do the breath work with us. But if you are in the house, do the breath work with us. So, we're going to do an in count for 4. We're going to breathe in for 4 and do an out count for 4. And we're going to do that 3 times. I count the first time and then let y'all continue. So close your eyes and let's go. Come in for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Out for 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. Had to get another one in. I hope y'all feeling good. I hope y'all ready to dive into this topic. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Let's get it. So we're gonna start off with in what ways have I grown in this season? I'll answer that question and say I'm still growing. Like the ways I'm growing is the main focus of this episode, which is dealing with my emotions and transmuting those emotions into positive things, into things that benefit me, to things that feed me as a person. What were some challenges? The same challenges I would apply to the ways I've grown. That's been some of my biggest challenges because to deal with your emotions is not an easy feat. To master yourself it's not an easy feat. The journey itself is not easy. So you have good days, you have bad days, you have setbacks. So just learning and finding practices for actually dealing with my emotions. Not just say, hey, I need to deal with my emotions better. Actually having a step-by-step plan or a template to follow to deal with my emotions. And we're gonna kind of get into a lot of that later. What episode I enjoyed the most? I must say, definitely the episode with Kizzy Express Yourself Black Man on Instagram. That was definitely one of my favorites. If you missed that, you should definitely go check that out, especially if you're a black man. I don't know how many black men we have following. I understand it's a lot of female followers, but for all my black men that are on here, should definitely go check that out if you missed that episode. Really good episode. And I can even go back to in what ways have I grown this season, learning new ways to actually express myself, because to piggyback off of his Instagram name, it says Express Yourself Black Man, learning new ways to express myself and deal with my emotions as a black man, because, you usually talk as a black man, you don't feel it much. Really, the only emotions as a black man you only taught to feel is anger and happiness. You know what I'm saying? You can't be sad. There's never a time to be sad. There's never a time to be It's never accepted to be sad. You can't cry. You know what I'm saying? So this starts as a kid, when they tell our young black men, our young black boys, that men don't cry, boys don't cry. And it just perpetuated the same cycles of black men not knowing how to deal with their emotions. And that's a big topic for this episode. So once again, I'd like to thank Empress for allowing me to come on here. But so yeah, I would advise everybody to check that episode out. That was one of the things that really was great for me to hear. It's great to hear other black men, be vulnerable. Like, I wish more black men knew that it's power in vulnerability. Vulnerability don't make you a soft person. You know what I'm saying? The strong person actually is the person who could deal with their vulnerability and actually be vulnerable and be in that space, but also still handle yours. Being vulnerable doesn't mean you weak. Being vulnerable don't mean you go outside. Being vulnerable don't mean you're taking advantage of. That's when your intelligence and your logic can come into play. Your knowledge. That's why this is a platform to spread knowledge and also start conversations, to have conversations like this, to where if it's not talked about amongst the community, let's start the conversation. So that's why I appreciate pages like Express Yourself Black Man. I appreciate podcasts like Nice and Neat, where we have black men on here, expressing themselves and starting different conversations, changing the conversation. So that's why I appreciate being on here. And I would like to use this time to, talk to, my black men, my ladies in here too. Because I can relate to hear from a man's perspective. So that question kind of got me on a tangent. But yeah, I think that as a man, mastering your emotions will be your greatest superpower. If you're a man and you know how to control your emotions, it gives you power. It doesn't make you powerless. When you're not in control of your emotions and you run from them, you try to mask them, your emotions have power over you. And that allows you to be used by your emotions. You're just being dragged by your emotions. Even subconsciously, even if you're not feeling it, subconsciously you're creating habits in your mind. And that just trickles down into your behavior, your habits, your self-talk. all that bleeds into who you are as a person. So mastering your emotions, I feel like as a man is key, very key. And we need to start more conversations about emotions. So with that said, I think I would like to transition into more so the topic. And the topic is excuse me, more near and dear to what I feel like I'm going through and overall. And I get to speak more about me on this solo episode. So, we're going to kind of let y'all into a little bit of my world, And if it resonates with you, I appreciate that. If it don't, maybe it will one day. Maybe it has in the past. But I thank y'all for joining me anyway. So, I feel I've been in the phase of being stagnant. And it's funny because I had a talk with a friend. I probably haven't seen this friend in about a year. And we haven't talked or anything. But as soon as we just sat down, he just started talking to me. He said, bro, I could just feel off your energy that you feel like you're being stagnant. He said, I'm here to tell you that you're not. And that was just a powerful conversation for me because it really felt like the universe was speaking through this individual. It's like, what is the universe telling me? Like, why is this one of my friends who I haven't talked to really over a year? So he knows nothing of what I'm going through at this current moment. Speaking in a manner of which I'm exactly feeling right now. Like, that blew my mind. But it was crazy was that I was feeling that way, but I didn't acknowledge that I felt that way. I ignored that feeling. I just kept it moving. I just was like, nah. I never accepted. I never thought about it. So I was really being controlled by that emotion. Me thinking I'm in control. Me thinking that, oh, nah, I'm good. I'm thinking I'm in control, but I'm not. I'm really being just dragged by my emotions, and I don't even know it. So me having that conversation with him felt like a conversation with the universe, God, and it was something that I needed. So I wanna read this principle. And if you're not familiar with the Kabbalion, it's basically these 7 Hermetic principles from ancient Egyptians, and I don't want to get too deep in what the book is about, but it's based off 7 Hermetic principles. And I'm going to read principle 5. If it resonates, if this whole segment resonates, I think you should check the book out. Give it a good read. I think it's a good read. But yeah, so the principle of rhythm. The principle of rhythm reads, everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. So basically what this says, life is basically a cycle of flows. Flows of out and in. So cycles of moods. You have moods, you have days when you're happy. If you're happy one day, you're most likely going to be sad at another part. And it manifests in everything, meaning the rise and falls of nations. If you start off poor in your life, you end up rich. Like, you see it in everything, on big levels, small levels, lower planes. All this exists, and it also kind of coincides with another principle with how I was feeling. The principle of vibration, which I'm not gonna read the principle, but it pretty much says nothing rests, everything vibrates. So I say that to say the principle of rhythm, everything flows out and in. Everything has its ties. Meaning, for everything good, there's a bad. There's a pole. There's a pendulum that swings. So if it swings a little bit this way, it swings a little bit that way. So the most basic way to explain it is like how I say, if you see somebody start off super poor, ooh, what the hell? Super poor, they usually end up super rich. But this manifests in everything, on every cycles of life. So in order to get to new ascensions in life, you have to go through things. There are going to be periods of time where it's going to be negative emotions, right? So an analogy I can kind of give for learning how to deal with these emotions, or a basis on where we're starting from, where this principle I just read. An analogy I can give on learning how to accept your emotions, learning how to deal with them, and learning how to properly channel and transmute these emotions is very vital to. It's going to be very vital to your journey, your self-mastery journey. It's going to allow you to learn yourself even deeper, learn yourself on a deeper level, to allow you to not be controlled by these emotions, but control your emotions. Because one thing to remember about emotions are energy. They're energy flowing through your body. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. So when you think about it like that, so once you have this emotion, you'll feel that emotion. First thing to do is to accept that emotion. Like, hey, not deflect. Like, nah, I ain't even mad. You ever have a battle with yourself? Like, try not to be mad. Like, man, I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be mad. And you just end up just being pissed off. Or just on 10. But instead, accept these emotions. Like, hey, what just happened really hurt me. I really would like to slap this person, but I'm not going to do it. At that point, you acknowledge your emotions and you took the power away from it. Now you're in control. So once you're in control of these emotions, that's when you begin the process of transmuting these emotions into a positive output. Right? So everything flows out and in. And how we can take this principle and relate it to life is to understand, like I said, these emotions. So just to double back to my friend telling me I was in a moment of feeling that I was stagnant, but that was not an emotion that I had fully accepted at that moment. It wasn't until he said it that I really thought about it and I really analyzed it. So once we had this conversation, I really was able to realize that, yes, I am in a moment of stagnant. So at that moment, I had a choice to make. Like, do I accept it? Because everything flows. I know this is a flow. I know I won't be stagnant forever. I know I won't be feeling unmotivated forever. I know I won't be feeling in this rut forever. I know it's a flow. But if I don't accept it, I am slowing down that flow. So I was stuck in the natural negative flow for a minute. Once I accepted that feeling, I let it flow. So here, now we're going to jump back to the analogy. I hope y'all following me. So, just think of a roller coaster, right? So, when that roller coaster starts, it comes up, then it gets to the top. You get slow. They build your suspense up. Then they drop you down like that first loop. Then you come back up on the other side on another loop. What you gotta remember is, say that's you and you dealing with your emotions. So say you're coming down on that loop to come up to the other loop, but you're resisting coming down. So you're not gaining that speed to go down. That's going to give you that momentum to push forward and propel to the other side, to the top of the other top of the loop. So we can use this in the same thing as with our emotions, dealing with our emotions. Like, you don't have to always resist your emotions. You don't always have to try not to feel your emotions, especially as a black man. You don't have to not try to feel your emotions. Because like I said before, energy cannot be created nor destroyed. If you do not acknowledge your emotions, they're going to transmute into another form, whether you know it or not. So why not use that energy, which is energy that you need, and transmute that to where you want to go, to transmute that to who you want to be. So let's get to another quote. It says, there are many planes of causation, and one may use the laws of the higher to overcome the lower. Which pretty much, to me, obviously, you have your higher self and your lower self. You vibrate. You move through those things when you're dealing with your emotions. When you're happy and you're elated, those are your higher self. When you're in the child state, when you're elated, all those things, you're in your higher self. When you're mad, upset, those are your lower vibrations. And the one who could obtain the mastery of these emotions and allow themselves to not be affected by their emotions, by their moods and negative mental states, you gain power over these things. So I think that's the ultimate goal, Not the ultimate goal, but I think that's a goal in your self-mastery journey. Dealing with these emotions, dealing with these moods, not allowing your moods to control you, not allowing your negative mental states to control you. And another thing that comes with accepting these emotions that I skipped over is going through the journey of trying to accomplish this. You begin to learn yourself, because then you have to start asking yourself deeper questions like, okay, am I upset? Yes. No. Okay. Why did this make me upset? Yes. No. What role did I have in this situation that made me upset? And you have to be honest with yourself. You have to be brutally honest, because sometimes we're bringing the pain to ourselves. We're bringing we're the cause to our hurt. We're the cause of our disappointment. But when you run from those emotions, you never get the growth. You'll never get to the point where you're actually mastering yourself. I feel like that's one of the ultimate goals in this your spiritual journey. I like to call it a self-mastery journey, because I feel like everything is included in that. It's not just spiritual, it's on every plane. It manifests in every plane and every aspect of life. In conclusion, one of the things that I'm very focused on and keen on, is the mastery of my emotions. I don't want to deflect. I don't want to create habits of feeling numb. I don't want to detach. I simply want to know how to deal with my emotions and how to transmute those emotions. Excuse me. And how to transmute those emotions into places and spaces where I want them to be. I want to be empowered with my emotions. I want to be empowered with the energy that flows outward and inward of this vessel, this body I have. That's my ultimate goal. I don't want to be used by my emotions. I don't want my emotions to just drag me around just as they please. I want to be in control. I want to have power over my emotions. All right, so I got a couple quotes that I want to read as we wrap up. It says, all individuals who have attained any degree of self-mastery accomplish this more or less unknowingly and by refusing to allow their moods and negative mental states to affect them. They apply the law of neutralization. What is the law of neutralization? Let's get to that. The law of neutralization operates by raising our egos above the lower plane of mental activity so that the negative swing of the pendulum is avoided, so that the negative swing of the pendulum is not manifested in consciousness, so therefore they are not affected. Wow. Wow. And so you see how ego could be attached to your emotions. It's all about raising your emotions. Back up. It's all about mental transmutation of your emotions that allow you to apply the law of neutralization. That's the ultimate goal. That's a ultimate goal. I keep saying the ultimate goal. There are many ultimate goals, but that's an ultimate goal. It's to be able to apply the law of neutralizations. Let's, hold on. All right. Sorry about that. But that's my journey. That's why I call it the self-mastery journey right there. Because that is not easy. Learning how to learning how to apply the law of neutralization, to apply mental transmutation takes practice. So this is something that I go through and I struggle with. That's why when I answer what ways have I grown and what were some challenges, that's why there's basically the same answer. Because it's very challenging. That's why we're community. We're here. We're taught. Like when you feel like you've been dealt with a challenge, you feel like you didn't do as good as you felt like you should have or you could have. Let's express that. Let's accept that. Let's accept that feeling. Let's deal with it. Let's talk about it. And we got a community. So let's have feedback. You know, if you need to DM me, DM the page. Because learning how to do this is hard, but it's one of the keys of life. One of the keys of life. So that's why I love these conversations. And I would love for y'all to join the conversation. So once y'all hear this episode, get back to me. Let me know what y'all think. Let me know how y'all feel. Y'all may have a different point of view. Y'all may have different beliefs, different philosophies. And let's talk about it. I don't have all the answers. I just know what I know. I know what works for me. And I'm going to forever continue to learn to be curious. And I want everybody to be curious. You know, question everything. One of my sayings, question everything. Now let's get to this last quote and we'll wrap up. The master, however, carries it to a much higher degree of proficiency, and by the use of his will, he attains a degree of poise and mental firmness almost impossible of belief on the part of those who allow themselves to be swung backward and forward by the mental pendulum of moods and feelings. Man, I'm telling you, when I first was hearing this stuff, it just mind blown. Opened my mind up to a new perspective, new thought. You know, then it takes practice, takes application. So I hope some of this resonated with you guys. I hope it was a good discussion. I hope I did good on my first solo episode. I know I get better with time. I appreciate y'all for coming on this journey, coming on this with me. And I got another quote on my phone I want to leave y'all with by Lao Tzu. It says, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. So I'll leave y'all with, don't focus on the 1,000 miles. Just take that step. Just keep your head down. Take that step. Head down. Take another step. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, you still head down. And you like, hold on, is that the finish line? Oh, it is. Here I am. So stay down on the journey, man. It has its ups and downs. Continue to be great. Continue to work at your emotions. Continue to work towards mental transmutation of your emotions. Continue to be you. Don't compare yourself. Continue to be a nourisher. So we're going to see y'all season 3. Gonna be back in better. And I appreciate y'all for continuing on this journey. And want to take Johnny out. You did.